Welcome to the Black Doctor Collective podcast. We as Black doctors are in a unique position. We can change our communities, healthcare, and the world. Of course, we start by changing the way we see and value ourselves. I'm your host, Dr. Shanika Horn, pediatrician and physician coach, travel extraordinaire. I am so happy to have you here and listening. So let's get into it. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Doctor Collective podcast. I have a guest episode today, pretty exciting. So we have Dr. Obehi here with us, and she is also a pediatrician like myself with a master's in public health, and we'll get into how that is a good story afterwards. She's originally from Maryland, and now she works at New ULM or New Ulm? I never know how to say that.
Yeah, New Ulm.
New Ulm, Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a German town.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense for that spelling. Okay, so this is where she is currently in Minnesota, and she is a certified parent coach. She practices integrative medicine, pursued by her passion to heal the body. In addition to medical school at Ohio University, residency in Kansas City, she has traveled the world to learn her craft, studying in the Redwood Forest, India, and Germany, amongst other places. As an osteopathic physician trained in osteopathic manipulative medicine, acupuncture, hypnosis, nutrition, and functional medicine, because you know, one thing Black women gonna do is have all of the qualifications, okay? Her aim is to eliminate disease at the source. When she's not working, her favorite thing is to go hang out with her 2-year-old and infant son. And I'm like, she's busy with the toddlers. It's perfect for a certified parent coach. She loves to dance and learn tricks on aerial silks. So welcome, Dr. Obehi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So excited. So the funny thing about the Masters in Public Health is because that's where we met way back in time in DC. Before I even knew, I think I was going to med school. I don't know if you knew you were already.
No, you knew. You hadn't applied yet, but you knew. It's me and you were the two people in the program that were going to medical school. And I remember someone saying, you know what, after you finish your master in public health, you're not even going to want to go to medical school. And we were both like, I'm pretty sure I still will.
I remember feeling like I want to be the expert in the field. And I felt like everything in public health deferred back to like clinical decision making. And so, yes, there's all these like allies of healthcare, right? But I'm like, the person who's really making the decision about how to integrate all of these different fields and these components is a doctor. So, like, why wouldn't I go to medical school? So, yes, we have known each other for almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute because
Wow.
we graduated in 2006.
No, I
No.
started in 2006. I graduated
Yeah, we
college in
started in
2006.
2006. We
Yeah.
graduated in 2008.
Yes. So 2006, it's almost 2026, girl. Like that's 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's such a long time. And the funny thing is, I feel like we lost touch for a long time because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
medical school is real and so is
Mm-hmm.
residency.
Mm-hmm.
But then we started showing up at the same conference, and then it
Yeah.
was like, and that was so funny because I don't think we knew, okay, yes, maybe we knew we were going to medical school, but neither one of us, I don't know if we had chosen our specialty or had the idea that we were going to end up in the same specialty. So it's very
Yeah.
funny to have a parallel journey with someone that's totally unplanned and like just be like, oh, we ended up doing the same thing. That is hilarious. So yes.
Yeah.
Very excited to have you here. And then on top of that, you became a coach, which I'm like, I'm a coach. Now you're a coach. Like,
Yeah, I know.
the
It's
parallels.
crazy. I
It's crazy.
know.
So I'm like, that is so weird. That's so
To be
wild.
fair, you became a coach before me, and it was very inspiring.
Oh, thank
And
you.
yeah, for sure. And it was helpful to know another pediatrician who also had a coaching job sort of on the side, or I don't even know which one's on the
Yeah.
side, the coaching job or the pediatric job. But
Girl, that part.
but I was like, okay, so I know it can be done. I know someone who's done it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because when I first started helping people negotiate, I was like asking you questions about, okay, how do we
Yeah,
calculate like RVU things? Because I had
yeah.
not worked in an RVU based system, and that was something that people were asking me questions about. So I was like, you know what? This is what I always talk about. You have to know who's in your community.
Mhm.
And you have to know who's going to be helpful on your journey and like who you can ask questions of and have conversations because you just never know. Like we can literally build off of each other by having super helpful conversations. So I'm super pumped about this. Just as a disclaimer, I was going to say Dr. Obehi's here with her kids.
Yes.
So,
And I have to run to the door real quick. My nanny's at the door. I'll be right back.
sure, okay. I feel like what's more perfect for a pediatrician, he's so cute. And like two pediatricians and a parent coach is like the presence of children in our actual
Right.
lives.
I
Right?
know.
Like very normal for kids to be around. And I talk about the pleasure of being a pediatrician all the time. Obviously, I'm biased, but that is the real. So when you hear the cute baby noises, you know what's happening.
I'm studying to be a lactation consultant. I'm currently in the middle of my
I love
program.
that.
And so, of course, I'm breastfeeding my 9-month-old because what else would I be doing as a lactation, soon to be lactation consultant? And
I
it's, and I
love
actually
that.
have, speaking of, because you do negotiating, I actually have a really great job that allows me to come home twice a day. So on my lunch break, which is what this is,
Yeah.
and then again at 3 o'clock to feed my son. And so I have been doing that since he's been born. And I did that for my firstborn too, who's 2.5 years old now.
That, first of all, that is amazing. And I want to say that's amazing for a couple of different reasons. A, because who knew that was an option, right? Like most people, I hear like horror stories, like people are pumping in the bathroom at work, and you know, hospital
I know.
bathrooms are not nice. Okay.
No. And you're not even going to get milk when you're stressed in an environment that is not conducive.
Exactly. So I'm like, I always say, talk to people about the things that they have negotiated for
Mhm.
because you just never know. And people are getting all of the things. So, like the concept of I can come home twice a day and bond with my child and feed my child, that's a huge deal.
It's huge. And another thing that makes it really feasible is the fact that I live in a really small town, which means I live very close to the hospital. I'm like, I live a mile away, which is also necessary because I take call.
Mm,
But it allows me to come home and not waste a lot of time traveling and spend most of that hour with my son.
yeah, which is like perfect. That's like, you're just hitting all like my negotiation things. I could talk about all of the like negotiation wonders like all day, but I want people to know a little bit about your story. And I don't know, you can choose whatever part you want to share, but it could be like how you chose pediatrics, how you decided like pediatrics wasn't enough and I need to do all these other things that really support my patients. Like whatever you want to share, you're welcome to.
Okay, I'll tell you how I ended up doing all these other things because, as you said in the bio, I'm trained in the acupuncture, the pediatric hypnosis, osteopathic manipulation. I'm a DO, functional medicine, and also recently got trained as a life coach and master neuro-linguistic programming sort of practitioner. And now I'm doing my lactation journey to become a lactation consultant. And in the first week of December, coming up starting December 4th, I'm going to learn abdominal massage, which is specific for
Ooh.
massage specifically of the abdomen. You can do it with for pregnant women. I actually got it done. That's what got my interest in it. It actually created more space when I was really big and pregnant. So I didn't feel like my organs were all being squished so much. And then I got really interested in it because I was like, this could be really helpful for people. And so now I'm getting ready to be trained in it. And the reason why I do that is because, and like you said, I traveled to Germany, Peru, India. I'm Nigerian. My dad's Nigerian, my mom's American, but I lived in Nigeria for 5 years. And I consider myself this global citizen. And you travel a lot too.
Yes, and
Um,
I did a global health fellowship. So I'm like, we love
mhm.
worldwide
We
integrative health.
do. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel traditional medicine is great. And I do all of the traditional things. And like I told you, I take call. And when I'm on call, I am responsible for basically every pediatric person that comes into the hospital that needs a pediatrician. So the ER, express care, the nursery, the hospital floor, the critical care unit. I'm
Hmm.
responsible for all of it. So I run codes if I need to, all of the things. So I'm deep in the traditional medicine. And I feel like there are some times when it falls a little bit short.
Hmm.
And in those times, that's when integrative medicine really shines.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's complaint is valid. In the pediatrics, you hear a lot of, oh, it's normal, they'll just grow out of it. There's
Yeah.
a difference between common and normal. Eczema is common, it's not normal.
Right.
Eczema is your body saying there's some inflammation. It's a dermatitis,
Mhm.
it's an inflammation of the skin. So there's some internal inflammation going on. If you want to delve into that and figure out, because I'm also trained in nutrition, if you want to figure out what's causing that internal inflammation, I'm willing to go on that journey with you. If you also are not ready for all of that and you just want a steroid to make it stop, I can do that too. But I
Yeah.
wanted the full gamut of medicine available to me because I was interested in really getting to the root cause of disease and healing and curing versus treating. And
Hmm.
that's also why I got into pediatrics because I feel like you can heal children. I feel like
Yeah.
adults are so set in their ways, figuratively,
1000%.
mentally, spiritually, financially, all the lees, that it's such a hard, like, upward battle to get them to make any kind of course correction. Whereas
Yes.
children are a lot easier. They want to get better because they want to run out and they want to play that sport. They want to play on the playground. They want to do all the things. So they want to get better. And adults will do
Mhm.
more for their children, I find.
100%.
So I found that pediatrics was the place to be if you wanted to actually see people get better by leaps and bounds in a short period of time.
Yes. Oh my God. Maybe this is like every pediatrician story, but that's definitely my reason for pediatrics. Besides the fact that adults are stinky,
So gross.
so gross. I feel that. I'm like, this is an opportunity to intervene at a period of life where they can make a change that impacts them for years, learn
Absolutely.
habits that can impact them for years. Like you're getting in at the ground level. Like it's so beautiful. And like you said, people are way more willing to do stuff for their kids than they are for themselves. So yes. I
And that's why I also got into coaching. So I'm a parent coach, but I'm also a certified life coach. And I talked about neurolinguistic programming. And the reason why I got into the life coaching part of it is because exactly what you said. It's because, and also the reason why I got into parent coaching. So let me just talk about all of it. As humans, we all have this fundamental, deep rooted insecurity called I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough, or I'm
Oh
unlovable.
yeah.
Some version of that. We all struggle
Hmm.
with it our whole life. And
Inadequacy all the time.
inadequacy.
Hmm.
And that gets formed in childhood.
Yeah.
And I've seen it form. I've seen children before they had that and after they developed that.
Hmm.
And I want to get in, like you said, at the ground level before that thought, that belief,
Yeah.
that decision about yourself gets made and takes deep roots. Because
Yeah.
what happens is between the ages of 3 to 9 is when that gets formed. So at some point in time, something happens in
Mhm.
your life, and a lot of the times it's innocuous. Like
Yeah.
your parent, okay, I love to tell this story. My partner, he was 7 years old. He's the middle child. His older brother was a teenager. His younger sister was a toddler, and both of his parents were occupied with the two of them, and he was left alone on the stairs. And in that moment, he made a decision that he wasn't wanted because both of his parents were paying attention to the other two children. And
Mhm.
he lived at 7 years old, he lived his whole life inside of this story called I'm Not Wanted. And he began to act out as a teenager and do all these different things for attention because he thought that that's what he needed to do to get attention from his parents. And that's what happens. So there's something that happens in our life that parents are oftentimes unaware of. And
Mhm.
we make a decision. And then for the rest of our life, we find evidence for that decision and
Oh
live
yeah.
into the story that we created.
Hmm.
And I wanted to intervene at the point where people are forming that decision and get in the way of it so
Hmm.
that they don't have to live this whole life with this inadequacy and believe that it's real and true, so that they can see it for what it is, which is something that they created and something that's not necessarily true, and they can challenge it.
Yeah. I want to highlight like this is the root of like good entrepreneurship, where it's like you see a problem that requires a solution, and there's probably like a million places along the way that you could intervene, right? There's a million solutions for the one problem. Like inadequacy is something that I address all the time as a negotiator, right? Because when you don't feel like you are enough, you do not ask for anything. You do not
Mhm.
advocate for yourself. And so I always say, like, anytime you're in coaching, we're all literally addressing the same problem. It's just what aspect of the problem do I want to attack and try to solve for? So I love that you were like, here's this problem that adults are facing. But how can we, instead of pulling people out of the river of their like inadequacy, the river of inadequacy, they're in it, they're swimming in it, they're drowning in it. Instead of doing that, I'm like, I'm gonna go upstream. You're like, I'm going upstream. We're gonna
Mhm.
see how these people ended up in the river in the first
In the
place.
first place.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And teach them how to swim, or at least give them a life raft or something,
Yes,
because this feeling of inadequacy is going to come. It's a human feeling. But I
sure.
want them, when they see that, to know,
This is what's
hmm,
happening. Yeah.
is this really true about myself? Or what is it that I
Mhm.
actually know to be true about myself? And
Yeah.
challenge it so that they don't have to be victim to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why, so that's why I do the life coaching, and I do the life coaching at from tween, I would say, on up. So like from, I would say from,
Oh, I
well,
love that.
actually, even like my 7-year-old stepdaughter, I do it with her. So I would say from like
Mhm.
7 on up. And then below the age of 7, I do pediatric hypnosis. And I do hypnosis for anyone, but instead of doing the direct coaching, I do the pediatric hypnosis, and that helps with the younger ages. And I do that down to like 2.
That is so
But then
fascinating.
with the
First of all, I'm
parent coaching,
obsessed. I was like, I'm so obsessed. This
it's
is like
okay.
so fascinating.
I know. Thank you. And then for the parents, with the parent coaching side, so where I'm intervening in this process there is, it is unfortunately usually a parent or an adult of some sort that created an environment that child now created a story about. And that's what caused them to feel like they were unloved, unworthy, whatever. And so I'm intervening at that parent level to let them know, hey, things like this happen. It's not your fault that it happens. But without deliberate attention to it, it can become a problem in this child's life. And it's often everyday things like a divorce, a move, a change in schools, a new pet, a new child added to the family, a new
Yes. Oh my God.
relationship. All of these things to a child, believe it or not, they become a rupture in what they knew to be true of their life, right? They become a fracture of what they knew to be true and hold sacred. And if that fracture isn't deliberately repaired, it becomes a trauma. And even though it's innocuous and it's not meant to be that way, and it's just life moving forward for the parent, for the child, it's a whole shatter of their world. Now, you can put that back together with deliberate care, but that's what's needed. And often parents don't know that's what's needed.
Hmm.
And
They don't
so
know, and
I
they don't,
come in
even
at
if they
that
know, they
point.
don't know how.
Exactly. And so then I come in at that point to teach them how to parent in a way that repairs ruptures or prevents them from happening.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I love that you are like, that you have multiple target audiences, right? So, and you have an approach, like it's an age appropriate response depending on like where the person is in their life and what they need. That's such a pediatric approach because we do really see everybody from 0 to 21. So,
Yeah.
like, I love
Hmm.
that.
Thank
That is
you.
like absolute genius. And it's funny, actually, this is why I like having these conversations because obviously, like, I coach other doctors, but like, I use a lot of coaching tools in clinic, right? Like, I spend time,
Yeah.
I have moms that come in sometimes. I've had moms come in twice in the last week without the kid and be like, oh, can we just talk to you real quick? Or they call, or they just want to have a moment and have a discussion about, and it's usually about the kid, but like also it's
Yeah.
about like them and like how things are being managed and like all of the stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is real. This is the crux of the work. This is actually like pretending that you can only treat health without the social components, without the mental health components, without the like psychosocial dynamics of a family is a fallacy. Like
It's crazy.
you have to like you have to talk about all the things.
You have to talk about all things. And
Yeah.
I a lot of my work is also in that space too, where I'm coaching the parents on their childhood traumas that never got healed or
Oh.
repaired. Because
Ooh.
see, in life, truly, you're never really responding to a situation. You're never even really responding to your child. You're responding to your nervous system. And so if your nervous system gets triggered by your child and you get all revved up, you're likely either going to cause anxiety in your child because they're going to feed off of that energy, or you're going to yell, or you're going to say something you don't mean, or something to that effect. If
Yeah.
you are unbothered because your triggers have been dealt with, and now those are not buttons that your child can press,
Right.
then your child gets all the space in the world to just be. without having to take on your energy or deal with your energy or navigate through it. And then you can just be with your child there to help them navigate through what they're navigating through in a really safe space. And that helps heal wounds dramatically quicker.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is so perfect. I actually was talking about, and it's a podcast episode that's airing before this, right? But in it, I talk about the fact that part of what I negotiated for was to have quality time with the kids and being able to like talk them through things. And I had gotten a email from a mom who was like, "Oh, it was so nice that like my kid is so anxious about vaccines and you were able to just really sit with her and calm her and like in a way that had not been done before." And like I remember I literally had the parents leave the room. Like it was just me and the kid. And I just think about what you said about like the energy of things, right? Because kids definitely feed off the energy of their parents. And if the parent is anxious, the kid is anxious. And if the parent is confident, then the kids are more confident, right? And sometimes parents are like they have their own stuff, their own mental preoccupation, like preoccupations that are happening.
Yes.
And you're like,
Yes.
this is totally, you could feel the energy in this room because of the parent, not
Hmm.
because of the kid.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Hmm.
that's such a key component of treating children and really treat it's like a family dynamic.
And a lot of the times, what happens right now is that we try to heal as pediatricians, we
Yeah.
try to heal through the child, and
Mhm.
that's okay to do, but it's more tough for the parent
Yeah.
because they're having it's tough for them to navigate their child's emotions when their emotions aren't in check or haven't been handled or dealt with.
Yeah.
When they can come from a place of complete confidence and
Hmm.
complete calm,
Hmm.
then it's a lot easier for them to deal with their child.
Hmm. For sure. And you can see it like the moms who have, like you said, that feeling of inadequacy, especially in motherhood, is like so apparent, right? Like moms who are doubting, they're literally just always trying to make the best decision for this kid, right? And then I find like when the kid hits the teenager phase and they don't want to hear anything mom has to say, and they're like shooting barbs at mom, and the moms who you can tell feel like, I'm just trying to do what's the best. I don't understand why you don't like me. And they have this, I need to be liked like gap. There's that trauma, and you could see it in the mom. You can see how that changes the dynamic between the mother and the child.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that I need to be liked came from somewhere. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you it developed when that mom was between the ages of 3 and 9 years old.
Yes, for sure. Because I can see it like as early as 10. Like I had a 10-year-old last week who was worried about weight. And I was like, you're 10. Where did you even pick this up from? And in our minds, 10 is so young, but it's already happened, right? Like she's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
taken in and internalized what her body should look like
Mhm.
at age 10. That
Yes.
is,
Yeah. My my stepdaughter, I want to say she might have been 6 the very first time she said this, but
mhm.
she said some version of, and we get her like 50% of the time, but she said some version of I'm not pretty or I'm not pretty enough, or girls are prettier than me, something like that.
Yeah,
And at 6,
right.
and I was like, wow, okay, we need to address this.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's crazy because and I think also, like you said, if the parents are unequipped, right? Whether it's like in the recognition of the thing that's happening or in the response, you can see that like they're picking up on it in their kid, but they either will push it under the rug or like brush by it or yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
and a
love
lot
that.
of times, go ahead. A lot of times, what I will hear parents say is, they have my personality, or I'm anxious, and so
Hmm.
they have anxiety, it runs in the family. And
Yeah.
it's true,
Yeah.
but how about we break the cycle?
All right. It's true, but also treatable. Like it doesn't have to be. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I think the question that I always ask guests, but I think you've answered really well, is like, why this particular element? A lot of us, I think just as doctors, we have this like penchant for wanting to learn new things and wanting to do better. And I think it's perfect that our conversation was like, we started at MPH and people were like, you're not going to want to do this thing. And we were like, the heck, we're not. Um, right? Because this is it. Like this, how do I learn more so that I can be better at helping other people? How do I service people in a way that's like meaningful and sustainable and has long-term impact? That's primary care in a nutshell, right?
Right.
Like you
Right.
have to be invested in the end result. Okay, so you decided, it seems like you decided like these things over the course of time. Like you just kept adding on and learning
Mhm.
components, and then now it's integrated into this parent coaching relationship. But was there a moment where you were just like, this is just not enough? Like, I just need to keep learning more things.
Yeah, especially with the parent coaching, that was very obvious. I would say that outside of communicable diseases, which is probably the number one thing people come to the pediatrician for, runny noses, ear infections, sore throat, that kind of thing. After that, the number two thing I get is behavior concerns. And my pediatric training didn't equip me with how to answer that question on a very deep level. It's
Mm,
more like
yeah.
consistency and
Yeah.
structure,
And
which
also
is
like
great.
ignore and positive
Mhm.
reinforcement and negative, like,
And
yeah.
if that's true, and that's all
Right.
great, but okay, the parent is like, okay, consistent with what? What kind of structure? What do
Mhm.
you mean? There wasn't a lot of detail. And
Yeah.
so I just knew I needed more. And so I went to go get trained in parent coaching. And now it's my instruction is so much more detailed, so much more in depth. I give specific tools,
Yeah.
strategies, homework that I
Yeah.
want the parent to do and try for each type of behavior that I see. And so it's a lot more bite-sized, it's a lot more manageable, it's a lot more practical and actionable for the parent. And they can see results because I tell them to do this specific thing, they go do it, and then they see the result of it, and then we layer on top of it.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? That's the goal of all of our treatment plans is to actually give you something tangible that you
Mhm.
can do something with.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's just, I always say to parents, like when I'm doing like nutrition advice, I'm like, and I use like motivational interviewing and asking them like what is actually reasonable? What are they interested in changing? Because I'm
Mhm.
like, I could preach at you all day, go eat your vegetables. And that's just like such an ambiguous thing. What does that mean? Does that mean several times a day? What kind of vegetables? How many portions? Like, how do I mix this? There's just so much nuance to every type of instruction. And if I'm just like giving you the blanket statement, you're
Mhm.
never going to go off and be able to do that thing.
Also, they knew that.
It's
They don't need
true.
you to
It's
tell them
true. It's
that.
so true. It's so true. It's like you're not telling me anything I don't know, and you're not giving me any ways to help and improve that. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so bearing in mind that you are on your lunch break, so I want to be cognizant of your time. What do you want like other doctors to know, or is there something that you're like, this is an important lesson, like whether it's you should explore more or like you should, like, what do you think the lesson in all of this is or has been for you?
I would say for me, what the lesson has been is, you see, I'm neurodivergent, wildly so. I've got autism, ADHD, dyslexia, auditory processing disorder, all of the things. And I used to, especially growing up African, there's a certain way you have to be or else you get in trouble. And my upbringing was pretty strict. So
Yeah.
getting in trouble basically meant getting hit. And
Yeah.
also, I feel like all millennials got beat at some point. That's just how our parents were.
Yeah, I think like we were probably one of the last generations where that was almost a norm. Yeah.
Exactly. So there was a certain way you had to be, and I grew up thinking that there was a certain way a doctor had to be, or a certain way that professionalism looked, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I'm from the East Coast too. I'm
Yeah.
from Maryland. Like we said that we went to school in Washington, D.C. And Maryland is very, or D.C. can be it's very political, it can be very formal, it can be
Yeah.
very buttoned up, it can be very like business-like.
Polished, professional, like, and
Hmm. Hmm.
respectability politics. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Exactly. Suited up and that whole kind
Yeah.
of thing. And so that's what I thought I was supposed to be. And
Mhm.
you add that kind of button up, suited up, sort of formal, ultra formal, called everyone by their last name, good morning, good afternoon, like never said hi, stuff like that. And you add that to someone who has autism and who's socially awkward at baseline a little bit. And it became very awkward and kind of sterile and I didn't like it. And so when I left residency, I completely ditched all of it and everything I knew about what it meant to be a doctor and just
Mhm.
completely did what came natural to me. And as you can see, I have these wild glasses, which is
They're
just an
so cute.
indication of my personality. And at work, I don't have them now because obviously I'm not at work, but at work, I have these huge monster bear slippers that I wear. And I give out Legos to the kids. I
Cute.
you do
Love
too.
the Legos. Yeah.
And I started incorporating all of this like Eastern medicine, which some people may deem as a little bit out there, but that worked.
Yeah.
And I just leaned into what worked about who I was and the type of medicine that I practice, and leaned all the way away from who I thought I should be to appease the masses.
Yeah.
And that
Oh, that's
really worked
good.
for me.
Yeah.
That really worked for me. So in the beginning, I would get it was very hot and cold
Hmm.
me with the community because I also, important fact, live in a very small town, as I mentioned, 14,000 people. It's very conservative. And
Mm.
it's the complete opposite of where I come from. And it's very homogeneous and nobody looks like me. And I was definitely a shock to the community. And it took some like adjustments for me to them and vice versa. And I thought as a doctor, I had to appease to everyone, appeal to everyone, and be able to take care of everyone.
Hmm.
And what would happen when I would try to do that is I would get a lot of different people into my clinic, but I would get a lot of different people that I didn't really mesh well with them. They didn't really mesh well with me. And so
Yeah.
neither of us had a very good experience.
Yeah.
And when I started leaning into who I was fully and just not caring about appeasing to people, then
Mhm.
I started to get people attracted to my clinic who really liked my personality.
Yeah.
And I started to repel people who didn't.
Yeah. And that's an
And
important skill
it
to
is.
repel. Like people want to, that's the same thing that we talked about, which is if you want to be liked and if you're trying to fill these wounds of inadequacy, you will have a hard time repelling people. But actually, that is a super skill.
It is. And I,
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at first. I thought it
Right.
was a bad thing to repel
Yeah.
people, but truly that's what you want because
You
now
do.
I've built a wonderful clinic. I adore all my patients. It's completely full of people who are loyal, people who love
Yeah.
me and who I love. And I have a great time at work every single day. I rarely
Right.
get somebody who doesn't like my personality or have any friction at all. And I
Mhm.
just enjoy myself so much at work now.
Yeah.
And the people who don't like me, I repel them so far away, they're not even in my periphery. So I'm
Right.
not bothered by it. It doesn't come into my orbit, and I'm okay with that.
Yes. Protect yourself. Protecting your peace is not just removing yourself from the presence of others. It is also surrounding yourself and creating community with people who value what you bring. And that's like chef's kiss. If you're going to
Yeah.
be a sustainable physician and be in practice for a long time, you have
Mhm.
to learn how to repel people. You have to learn how to be yourself fully and wholly.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
everything you said is rooted in self-acceptance.
Yes.
Like, in order for you to say, I'm going to display myself to the world, you have to say, I love myself and I
Mhm.
am okay as is. And that is, like you said, that happens in childhood when you unlearn that. And it takes a long time to repair for a lot of people. And so, like
Mhm.
that, ooh, yeah, preaching today.
Yeah, my
So
version of that is I tell people I'm whole and complete and you're whole and complete. And
good.
as a doctor, that was a skill I had to learn because as a doctor, it's our job to fix everything. But when you
Right.
walk around fixing everyone in every single conversation, then the other person's left with there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
So I had to learn, no, everybody's whole and complete. It's just that sometimes people have barriers that get in their way. My job is to
Mhm.
remove those barriers, not fix them. They're fine. But
Yeah.
let's find out what the barrier is and let's remove that so that you can thrive. That's my
Yeah.
job. And that's what I do as a doctor.
I know. And when sometimes I feel like you can see that parents are communicating that like their kids are too much,
Mhm.
where they're like, oh, they're so noisy, or they're like ripping the table paper. And I'm like, if your kid can't be themselves in a pediatric office, like, I'm
Yeah,
like, it is okay for them to play and to yell
correct.
and to, if a kid cries after the vaccine, I'm like, this is an appropriate response. Like, let them cry. Like, it's okay.
Correct.
Like, they should be upset.
Correct. I'm so happy
Appropriate
to tell
response.
parents this is normal.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it's there for. Let them tear it up, rip it up. I've got
Right.
toys
I'm
in my
like,
room.
we're
Let
gonna
them
throw
play
it
with
out.
it.
It's
That's what
fine.
it's here for. Because the doctor's office is boring. Of course, they're running around the place. They ain't got
Yeah.
nothing else to do.
Right. I'm like, we have books, we have toys. I have bubble wand.
Yes.
we're in there just having a time.
Yes.
And the parents are like, oh my gosh. And half the time the kid is like hanging off
And it's
my, like their
like,
hand is in my pocket or,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the parents are
Listen,
like, oh my
I'm
God,
a
I'm so
jungle gym
sorry.
for my
Yeah.
no, it's like I'm a jungle gym for my patients because I got this thing that's like, woo, I got my
Yeah.
glasses they want to play with, I got my stethoscope they want to play with, I got all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff they want to play with, I got my hair they want to pull. I'm like, it's fine.
It's fine. But I love that is like the element of creating space and creating safety for others. But again, you have to spend time creating safety within yourself. And in order
Mhm.
to give that to someone else, because they again are going to feed off of your energy. So I love this point, and I think this is an important take home for all of our listeners, right? Especially people who are earlier in their careers or just or feel unsettled in some kind of way in their career. It's like the work is within. Like you don't always need to seek out all these external measures of validation or you need the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. That's not it. It's like I always say people like you don't need the extra MBA or the other degree or the whatever, the certification. Like I feel that way. I feel if you get a certification because it's something you're genuinely interested in, like you're like I'm doing lactation, I'm doing hypnosis. These are things I value and I think they would be impactful. That's a different route to then I need to supplement myself because I don't feel like I'm enough. And that's like the takeaway. It's like if you create safety within yourself, it allows you to pursue interests that will then impact your community around you. So good.
The other thing too is I don't know if most of your guests are Black or not, but I feel like
Probably.
that's a very person of color. Most of them, I would say that's very much a person of color thing to do also,
Yeah.
because you feel like you have to prove yourself. You feel like you have to, on paper, be the best candidate so that there's no denying you for the position. And there's some truth in that.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but I think that there's also room in the world for all of it. So I just watched the second Wicked yesterday. It was good.
Oh, I need to see it. I'm so excited.
Alphabet said something in the movie that really hit me to my core. She was talking to Glinda and she said, somebody has to be bad so that you can be good. And that
Mm,
just really hit me to my core because that's how I feel sometimes in the world. Like the world is
yeah.
so dichotomous. In the world, there's always a dichotomy. There's someone has to be bad, someone has to be good, someone has to be the victim, someone has to be the hero. And really, in reality, I think that there's room for all of it in the world. I think that you will find your niche of people that, and you'll find that's all you need. You don't need everyone to be
Yeah.
to think you're great.
Yeah,
Because
you
not
have to think
everybody
you're
will.
great. Yeah, not like I always say to people, I'm like, not everybody has great taste. Not everybody's gonna, so that's just what it is. I'm like, you
I
can
love
make the
that.
world's best chocolate chip cookies, and there's gonna be people who do not like chocolate. It does not matter, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just find
Those
your
cookies are
people.
still good.
The cookies are still dang good. Like, it doesn't matter. Yes, so I love that. Oh, this is such a good conversation. I feel like there's a million things we could probably still talk about. So if you want to come back, you just say the word because we could definitely delve into all of these conversations. I feel like people need to hear this, right? Like
Sure.
you get to
Yeah.
explore, you get to try new things, you get to use your own interests to serve
Hmm.
better and to serve yourself better. Because I'm sure that all of this has also made you a better parent. And
Oh, yeah. And here's one practical thing I'll tell like newbies. Find a nurse that first of all gets your brand of crazy and then hold on to them.
yeah,
And then outsource anything that really overwhelms you or brings you down that you really don't want to do. Like for me, it's paperwork. My nurses fill out all my paperwork and then they put a little sticker where I'm supposed to sign. Because if they don't put the sticker, I will miss it.
yeah,
And there's just little things like that. Like my nurses know me. They do all of the things that really irk me so that I can focus on the things that I love to do that bring in the revenue.
yeah, yeah.
That's a little practical tip I'll give you.
I love that. I love because I always talk about the importance of a team and who you have around you, and that is the team, right? Like people who understand you and can do the parts that allow you to practice at like your highest skill set. So whatever your job is, you should be practicing to the highest like level of that thing. Like for me, I'm like, I don't want to
Right.
do ancillary tasks. Like I don't want to triage and I don't want to do vital signs. Like I just don't want to. And so if you can figure those things out, like you can figure out what you need to operate at your highest potential and be supported in that, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So good. Awesome. Okay, this was so good. Okay, if people want to find out more about you and your coaching program, like your parent coaching, and they want to reach out, where can they find you?
Yes, thank you. So on Instagram, I am transformative underscore pediatrician
Okay.
is my handle.
Yeah.
And then on TikTok, my handle is at Dr. Okojie. So my name, Obehiokojiee. And my website is Transformative Pediatrician. Now, Kajabi is my host, and so you have to put in Kajabi in order for it to pull up. But
We'll put
Transformative
the link
Pediatrician,
in
and then if you
the
put in Kajabi.com,
Yeah, we'll put in the, well, for everyone listening, if you want to go to the website, the link will be in the show notes so you can click directly and you don't even have to worry about typing it. It's going to be there. We're going to put it, you can click it. It's going to be great. Yeah, that's
great,
amazing. And
thanks.
then, of course, they can follow you on social media, which will be nice, right? Because I do think, even if you're listening and you're like, I'm not a parent, I don't want to know about parent coaching, or I'm not into integrative medicine. I don't think it's that you have to follow people that are doing the exact things that you want to do. I think you should follow people that show you that there is not a status quo that is very limited, right? I think that the possibility of it is what's what you're looking for. So when I see someone like Dr. Obehi doing all kinds of things that I'm like, oh, I never considered that that was an option. It makes me not say I want to do exactly that. Because, of course, there's going to be people that are like, I want to do exactly that. That's great. But there's also people who are going to be like, oh, I feel like maybe I should do this thing. And this would be a nice add on to my career. And so just allowing yourself to be shown images of the variety, the gamut of possibilities that are happening in the world, like that is it. So y'all go ahead and click
Yeah,
the link and follow Dr. Obehi so
thank
you
you.
can see, right? That's it. Awesome, awesome. Anything you want to say before
Thank you.
we hop off?
No, I think we covered a lot.
We did cover a lot. I feel like it was packed with so
That's what
many
happens when you
gems.
get two coaches.
I know.
I was gonna say that's what happens when you get two coaches together.
It's so true. Because you already are speaking the same language, right? Yeah. That's why I'm also specific about the audience, right? Because I'm like, if I'm speaking to Black doctors, they're gonna get it, right? Like they're
Hmm.
gonna get all of the nuances, the cultural, the subtext that we're talking about without us having to over explain it. So that's why I love them. Like, we're both pediatricians, we're both coaches, we're both into like literally the all the components that actually filter into medicine. As the young people say, clock it. I'm learning all the slang from my teens.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you spending this with us. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is fun.
it was so fun. Okay, guys. So look in the show notes, follow Dr. Obehi, and we may talk again because this was great.
Yeah, why not?
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right, I
Everyone
gotta go
have
back
a
to
great
work now,
week.
girl.
Yeah. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. And what I want you to do next is link us everywhere you can. Instagram at The Black Doctor. Just become part of our collective. I want you here. Thanks. Until next time. Bye.